God told me to tell you, don't you focus on that fear. Let that love cast out all that fear. Your love of God and your love of your life to know that God is never going to leave you. And you shall live and not die.
Well, he's entrepreneur. It's the first thing that comes to my mind because he has a big array of ideas to establish, and he's an on-the-go pastor. He gets it done, and so our church was founded by Pastor Bird, and then Pastor Bradfield took it another step, and Pastor Bell is taking it to a whole nother level. He's a doer. He puts his money where his mouth is, as the old folks would say. He does it. A lot of pastors have great sermons and they talk about great things. But Pastor Bell has great sermons, talks about great things, and steps out and does it in the faith of God. And I feel honored to be at his side with him as chairman of the deacon board to support him. I remember when he used to be a deacon and he supported Pastor Bradfield, and we became assistant minister and supported Pastor Bradfield. And I said to myself, if I ever had an opportunity, I'd like to support him like he supported his pastor. And God blessed me with that opportunity.
I just want to first thank all of you for coming out to join us on this wonderful occasion. And I'm here to tell you that this is history in the making. Yeah. And God has been so good to us to allow us to move over here. Look, I got these scissors. To move over here into this new beautiful edifice. And it's not by accident, because God does not make coincidences. That's right. Everything he does has already been ordained.
Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S. Here's what we know. A Washington state resident fell ill after returning from Wuhan, China, where the outbreak began. Officials now say more than 400 people have been sickened and 9 people have died.
When Pastor Bell caught COVID, when COVID first came out, we didn't know what it was, but we knew what was happening all around us. I can just remember the day as clear as day on March 29th. Came home from work. He was a little warm. I told him he was a little warm, but he insisted that he was just fine. By the end of the night, we walked upstairs. He went a little bit before me, and then he collapsed on the ground. Didn't even make it to our bedroom. We put him in a room, laid down. At that point, I knew that this was serious, but we couldn't go to the doctors because most people who went to the doctors didn't make it out. So therefore, I had to rely on God, and I had the opportunity of being blessed with knowing physicians that I can call on the phone who basically gave me instructions on what to do. But from that moment forward, he couldn't walk. He couldn't barely talk. It was a really scary and very sad time that, well, if you ever had to lean on the Lord and use your faith, this was the time right now. At this point, he can't even move. It was so bad that Pastor Bill couldn't make it from the bed to the bathroom without struggling, and the bathroom was in our room. So as I sat there and watched my husband basically struggling to breathe almost every night, I still had to go into a field of work where I worked every day as a skilled nursing home administrator, and go to a place where I had residents and staff who needed me, because we were in the middle of a pandemic. No one knew what was going on, and everybody was very fearful. Most nights he couldn't sleep because his body was racked with so much pain. But God is so good. And I didn't share a lot of what was going on behind the scenes because I didn't want pity. I wanted prayers. I didn't want to rely on fear. I wanted to rely on faith. through the whole journey, he was still hopeful. He was still feisty. He was still fighting. But to see him in that condition was so hard and so tough. To see him not being able to walk and not knowing why and if he was ever going to come out of it, it was a tough situation. To leave him, have to leave him and feel torn, to go to work and have the same journey with other family members and patients and employees was tough. To put my husband in a wheelchair, to wheel him to the back was a very tough feat. And every day I prayed to God to not allow me to drop a tear, because I didn't want to make him think I lost any type of hope. I wanted to keep my hope going. I didn't want the kids to see their dad in a feeble manner. I just wanted him to get well. And when we took him in, thank God we had the ability to get him in. We found out he had a blood clot in his leg. So glory be to God, because that blood clot could have traveled and he could have just not been here. So I just thank God for his covering. It's so much more behind the scenes that didn't happen. But I thank God that we all have the ability to celebrate 11 years on this journey. So yes, every year moving forward is special, because I saw him on his bed of affliction. I saw him almost what it appeared to be where it was out for the count. But God covered him. God made a way, and God allowed him to be here, because I said, Lord, I know his work is not done. I know there are still things that you have for him to do. And I just thank God for just being God and God all by himself. So never give up on your faith, even when your situation is being down, even when you diagnosed with a situation. Just trust God, because as we all know, it's things that none of us can do. COVID is something you can't see, you can't touch. So at the end of the day, people were concerned about me being in the same room with him. I said, my God has me covered. I thank him for continuously covering me, continuously supplying me with family members and friends who helped me during the process. I thank him for the Martin Evers Church family for praying. Prayer does change things. Continuously keeping God first. And I just thank God that he allowed him to pull through and make it over. He made him through a mighty, mighty way. He came through a mighty, mighty journey. So thank God. Yes, COVID may think it done something, but when you put your faith in God and not be fearful, God can heal sick bodies, because he said by his stripes we are healed. And I thank God for the healing, the deliverance, and just the overall love for him. So honey, I thank God for allowing you to be able to share in this 11th pastoral anniversary stronger and better than you ever been before. And thank all of you to listen to me on the smart part of this journey. Thank you.
And through this 11-year fight with Pastor Bell, the encouragement comes that we see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a tough uphill battle, but we can see the light. And so when we're able to see that glimmer of hope, and we're able to see that light, we're able to see things forming that we've been working on, that he's worked on for years and put his mind to it. We encourage each other, because all days aren't good days, but it's good to have someone to encourage you. So we encourage each other. It's been a God-given journey. It's a powerful journey. I thank God for it. I thank God for the opportunity to support my pastor and for us to do. And I'm just looking forward to the big changes in Detroit, and no telling how far and how big it's going to get. But I just feel good to be a part of this whole thing. So I just say God bless them, and I support him 110%.